Imagine waking up tomorrow to a news alert that doesn't just change the value of a currency, but fundamentally rewrites the entire global financial system. What if I told you that the moment we've all been waiting for, the event that has been the subject of countless forums, late-night discussions, and fervent hopes, is no longer a speculative future but an operational present? The Central Bank of Iraq has just shattered its silence in a move so profound, so meticulously engineered, that it has officially initiated the complete and irreversible transition to a sovereign digital currency, effectively beginning the long-anticipated revaluation process not as a single number change, but as a full-scale financial ecosystem revolution. This isn't just another headline. This is the detonation of the starting pistol for a new economic race, and for those who are positioned correctly, what unfolds over the next days and weeks will represent a lifetime wealth transfer event of a magnitude we haven't seen in modern history. The silence from Baghdad has been broken, not with a whisper, but with a thunderous, operational rollout that bypasses all the old gatekeepers and establishes a new, digital foundation for the Iraqi dinar, and the implications of this are so vast that to call it merely a revaluation is to call a hurricane a bit of wind. It is a fundamental restructuring of Iraq's entire relationship with money, with its people, and with the world. The official statements, which we have thoroughly analyzed and cross-referenced, confirm that the digital dinar is not a future test project. It is the new core of the Iraqi monetary system, a blockchain-based currency that operates in parallel with the physical cash but with one critical, game-changing difference: it is immune to the corruption, the black market manipulation, and the speculative volatility that has plagued the physical dinar for decades. This digital platform provides the Central Bank of Iraq with absolute, real-time visibility over every single transaction, creating a sterile, controlled environment where the true value of the currency can be established, nurtured, and protected from the malign forces that have intentionally suppressed it for so long. Think of it as building a new, pristine, high-tech financial city right next to the old, chaotic one. Initially, both exist, but all the new rules, all the new wealth, and all the future growth will happen within the walls of the new digital city, and the old physical cash will slowly, deliberately, become a relic of a painful past. This is the CBI's masterstroke. They are not just changing a price, they are changing the very battlefield upon which the economic war for Iraq's future will be fought, and by launching the digital dinar now, they have effectively fired the first shot, a shot that signals their absolute confidence that the conditions for stability, for international acceptance, and for a historic revaluation are finally in place. The rollout is phased, it's deliberate, and it's starting domestically, allowing the Iraqi people to become accustomed to using digital wallets for their salaries, for government payments, and for internal commerce, creating a massive, internal demand for this new digital asset that is completely separate from the forex speculation we've been engaged in. This internal stability is the prerequisite, the absolute non-negotiable foundation, upon which the new international exchange rate will be built, meaning that when your bank or exchange service finally displays that new, life-changing number, it will not be a fragile, speculative bubble waiting to pop, but a rock-solid valuation backed by a fully functioning, modern, digital economy that can defend itself against manipulation. The data flow from the ground in Iraq confirms that this is not a drill. The digital infrastructure is live, the banking sector is being trained on the new systems as we speak, and the public awareness campaigns are being prepared for rollout, which means the countdown we have always talked about is no longer a countdown to an announcement, but a countdown to the full-scale activation of a system that is already built and operational. The pieces are all moving on the chessboard right now, and the CBI has just made its most powerful move. But this is only the beginning of the story, because understanding the mechanism of the rollout is one thing, but understanding the immediate, tangible impact it will have on your investment, on the timeline for international recognition, and on the final, official revaluation rate is what separates the spectators from the beneficiaries. So, make no mistake, what you are witnessing is the birth of a new sovereign digital currency, and with it, the death of the old, suppressed Iraqi dinar. Stay with me, because in the next segment, we are going to break down the 3 immediate effects this digital rollout will have on the physical dinar you hold in your hands, and the critical window of opportunity that is now officially open. So, the digital foundation is poured and the new economic city is being built, but your burning question remains: what does this digital revolution mean for the physical dinar notes you hold right now? This is where the strategy shifts from the theoretical to the intensely practical, and the Central Bank of Iraq is executing a 3-phase financial maneuver that will directly and irrevocably link the fate of your physical currency to the success of its digital counterpart, creating a deliberate and powerful upward pressure on its value that is designed to culminate in the revaluation event. The first and most immediate effect is the establishment of a formal, government-sanctioned redemption pathway, a bridge between the old economy and the new, where physical dinar notes are now officially recognized as the sole key to acquiring the new, stable digital dinar, creating a massive, legislated demand for the very paper we possess. Think of it this way: to enter the new, pristine digital economy, every Iraqi citizen, every business, and every institution must first exchange their physical cash for digital credits, and this process is not a one-to-one swap of equal values, but a conversion based on a new, higher, government-established exchange rate that reflects the true economic potential of a sovereign, oil-rich nation no longer burdened by sanctions or chaos. This is the critical lever the CBI is now pulling, by mandating that all government salaries, all oil revenues, and all foreign contract payments will soon be processed exclusively in digital dinar. They are forcing the entire national economy to transition through this redemption gateway, and to get through that gate, you must possess the physical currency, instantly transforming our holdings from speculative assets into essential tickets required for entry into Iraq's financial future. The second immediate effect is the systematic strangulation of the black market currency trade, as the digital ledger provides an immutable record of every transaction, making the large-scale, illicit dumping of dinars or the manipulation of exchange rates by malicious actors a technological impossibility, thereby surgically removing the primary source of depreciation that has plagued the dinar for decades and allowing the true, sovereign value to emerge unhindered. This digital transparency, backed by new federal laws, effectively cages the predatory forces that have for so long benefited from a weak dinar, and in doing so, it creates a sterile, protected environment where the value of the currency is determined by national economic output and sovereign assets, not by the whims of corrupt traders and geopolitical saboteurs. The third and most profound effect is the triggering of a controlled currency contraction, as millions upon millions of physical dinar notes are officially redeemed and subsequently taken out of circulation to be destroyed. The global supply of physical dinar available for trade is deliberately and rapidly shrinking, introducing a powerful, classic economic principle of scarcity that, when combined with the exploding demand from the mandatory redemption process, creates a perfect and unstoppable storm for value appreciation. This is not a speculative theory. This is the deliberate, mechanical process of a monetary reset in action, where the reduction of the money supply against a fixed or growing asset base is economics 101 for how a nation strengthens its currency, and Iraq is now performing this operation with the precision of a surgeon, using the digital dinar as its primary scalpel. The data we are seeing from financial channels in the Middle East confirms that the preparatory phases for this mass redemption are already in their final stages, with international currency exchanges and correspondent banks being quietly briefed on the new compliance and verification protocols for handling what they are calling a sovereign currency exchange event, rather than a simple forex fluctuation. This is why the silence from the CBI was so deafening. They weren't just designing an app, they were orchestrating a complete monetary paradigm shift, building the legal, technical, and operational rails for a transition so smooth and so secure that it would prevent the capital flight and hyperinflation that often plagues such reforms. Your physical dinar holdings, therefore, are now akin to a limited edition key for a vault that contains the future of Iraq itself, and with every day that passes, more of these keys are being used, redeemed, and permanently destroyed, making the ones you hold in your possession increasingly rare and increasingly critical. The window I mentioned is now crystal clear. It is the period between this digital rollout and the moment the international banks officially recognize the new rate, a period where the foundational work of building value through scarcity and demand is happening right now, behind the scenes. But to understand the full picture, to truly grasp the endgame and the monumental global shift this will trigger, you must see the final piece of the puzzle, the part that moves beyond Iraq's borders and reconfigures the entire landscape of global power and finance. Stay right there, because the conclusion we are about to reveal will not only justify every moment of your patience but will also outline the critical, immediate actions you must take to navigate the most lucrative financial transition of our lifetimes. So we arrive at the grand finale, the moment where the story of the Iraqi dinar transcends its own borders and becomes a catalyst for a global financial realignment that will redefine wealth and influence for the next century, because the successful rollout of the digital dinar is not merely an Iraqi victory but a direct challenge to the petrodollar system that has dominated global trade for the last 50 years, signaling a seismic shift in geopolitical power that begins with oil and ends with the complete restructuring of the entire Middle Eastern economic bloc. The true endgame, the ultimate goal that makes this revaluation not just probable but inevitable, is Iraq's planned move to denominate its vast oil and gas exports in its own newly strengthened currency, a bold maneuver that would shatter the long-standing requirement for all OPEC nations to trade exclusively in US dollars and would, overnight, create a monumental, structural demand for the Iraqi dinar from every nation on earth that requires energy to power its economy. Imagine China, India, Turkey, and the entire European Union, no longer needing to stockpile US dollars to purchase Iraqi oil, but instead having to acquire and hold billions upon billions of Iraqi dinar to secure their energy contracts, creating a tidal wave of international demand that will dwarf the domestic redemption process and cement the dinar's value at a level commensurate with Iraq's true, staggering wealth in natural resources. This is the master plan that has been in the works for years, the reason behind the strategic patience, the political realignments, and the meticulous building of international partnerships. Iraq is positioning itself not as a broken